You guys would not believe how much of a process it is to set up filming in the RV. I finally bought some soft boxes, so I'm like so excited. Hopefully the lighting is so much better for you guys. This one's a little wonky, but it's fine. Why am I don't know. Don't forget to hydrate, y'all. Okay. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In this video I'm going to be talking about my experience with the Candlelight Processional Choir. I know that auditions are coming up soon. Hi, if you're new to my channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and join the Ever After fam. I do vlogs, and also I'm going to be getting back on the ball again about doing Ever After experience videos. I do apologize for not having one up in a while. Sorry if it's a bit of a long video. I'm going to apologize in advance, because I'm going to take you step by step through the audition process, what to look for, practices, the actual show, and my experience and tips for you guys. So I really hope that you find this video interesting and helpful and useful, and if you do, if it helps you in any way, shape, or form, please hit that like button. It lets other people know that this video helped you. So without me rambling much more, let's get on with the video. I don't know what this was. Okay. First off, before auditions come, just letting you know they're coming soon. Keep an eye out on the TVs and monitors in the utilidors and in the cafeterias. That is going to have a slideshow, and it's going to have information on the Candlelight, when to audition, the website to go and sign up for. There's also going to be flyers posted backstage for you guys, so be sure that you're keeping an eye on that and listening out, because there will be people who have done it before who are talking about it. They're going to give you a website. You're going to go on and you're going to sign up for a time slot to audition. It's okay if you have to change this. I ended up having to change it because of work. I recommend signing up for a time slot as soon as you know. Typically, as a CP, you're going to have days where you're usually scheduled off. I would go ahead and schedule that day for the audition. Normally I had Tuesdays off, so I signed up for a time slot on Tuesday. Then once you sign up for a time slot, it's going to give you a website to go to. So you're going to go to that website, and it's going to give you the music that you need to download for the audition. There were 4 pieces that I was able to download personally. 3 of the pieces were short clips, like 30-second clips, and then 1 piece was a lot longer of a clip, and it was like a minute and a half, and ended up being one of the full songs that we sang. So what I did is I just downloaded those onto my phone, and literally any time that I went to and from work, I played that song and listened to it in my car, and I practiced and I sang. Now I know a lot of you guys probably take the bus too. Put it on your phone anyway and listen to it. It's amazing what just listening to something and not necessarily singing it will get you to memorize it. But be sure that you do practice. Now I'm not saying that some of you couldn't go in there and just sing it for the first time and not do really well, because there are probably some of you who would do really well, but just to be on the safe side, if you really want it, practice. It made me feel a lot better at my auditions, a lot less nervous. So when it comes to be the day of your audition, don't be nervous. Oh, it really isn't bad. So the process for auditions is you go in and sign in with your Perner, and they're going to give you a sheet of music. If you guys saw my informational video about the Candlelight Processional Choir auditions, I show that to you in that video. Go check that out if you're interested. And once you sign in, you're going to get a number, and I do suggest getting there a little bit early. You'll audition sooner and you'll just be done with it. You won't have to sit there and psych yourself out, which I know is very easy to do. There were 4 pieces. The pieces that they had you download and practice. Once everyone signs in for that time period, they have everyone warm up together. They'll come and talk to you and, you know, crack a joke or two, and then kind of tell you the process. And after you warm up, what they're going to tell you is that you can choose one of those 4 pieces, unless you're a soprano one. Soprano ones, you have to sing a specific song, which I mentioned in that video, because you have to hit the high A, and they have to see if you can hit the high A. So if you're a soprano one, be sure that you practice singing that high note, okay? Luckily I had practice, and so I could easily hit that note. Plus, the more you practice, the less nervous you'll probably be, and the less likely you'll be to crack whenever you sing that note. Once they tell you that you can pick a certain song that you want to audition for. They're gonna run through each of those pieces. They won't break it up, they'll just have everyone sing it together at the same time. So once you're done practicing, they're gonna line you up based on the number that you got on your tag or on your sticker, and then you'll start going to the auditions. For me, there were 2 directors that we auditioned for. I auditioned for John, and they're each in separate rooms. They each have a pianist, so you walk in and you tell them your voice part, you tell them your name, you tell them what piece you're going to be singing if you have a choice. Soprano ones don't. And then you just sing for them once it's your turn. And just be friendly, be bubbly. They'll try and talk to you a little bit and ease your nerves. And then you tell your pianist whenever you're ready to go, and he or she will start and you sing your role. Once you're done, just be like, thank you so much, and leave. I believe I auditioned on August 2nd. So for me it was a week, but I think the latest that you could hear back is 2 weeks. That was such a good day. I was in Starbucks in Disney Springs with Anna. Good day. So just keep your eye on your email. Be sure if you have Gmail, you're going to your promotional folder, or if you have Yahoo or whatever else, check your spam, because sometimes for some reason Disney's emails to me would go to my spam or my promotional folder. On to practices. For first time candlelight processional singers, you have to go to 10 practices total, but you have to go to at least 3 sectional practices, and that's whenever you just have a girls' night and focus specifically on your section's notes, I guess, because from the first practice you just get thrown in with all the vocal parts, and it can be a little difficult at first, but I do recommend practicing. So once you do get into the candlelight processional, they will send you a link to go and download the rest of the music. I highly recommend downloading the music and listening to it, at least listening to it, because that will help you a lot whenever you do get thrown into practices and it can get really jumbled. They will take their time with the parts if a part is having a difficult time. Don't freak out the first few practices, because I knew nothing at first, but I was able to catch on. It'll be a little difficult for you at first, but you will pick up really quickly, and you can always raise your hand and ask them, hey, can you do this part again one more time? Or hey, can you do that for the soprano ones part, please? And they will totally oblige. My favorite practice director, I can't remember her name, but she was this short little petite woman with short brown hair and glasses, and she was just super sassy, but she was so fun. She made us laugh so much. I loved going to practices. I wish I could have gone to more, but you know, with work and everything, I just really enjoyed practices. There were 2 time slots usually that you could go to practice. I believe one was at 6 and one was at 8, and they usually lasted about an hour to an hour and 15 minutes. I think one time I had an hour and a 30-minute practice. That's usually not the case though. You don't get your own music. You can go to the website where you download them and print out your own music if you really want to. You can do that at your clubhouse, but they only allow you to print 10 pages a day, so just be aware of that, or else they charge you. But otherwise, they have binders of all of the music for you. They have them labeled with little dividers and everything. You won't really be able to mark in it, so if you are someone who really enjoys marking in your music, it helps you memorize it and remember certain things, then I do recommend printing out and bringing your own music, but otherwise you don't have to do that. Every week there's usually 3 to 4 different days of practices. You have about 12 weeks to go and get those 10 practices in that you need, and you're more than welcome to go to more if you can. They started, I believe, in early September, and the very first show was on Thanksgiving Day. So about 2/3 of the way through those practices, they're gonna have an informational night where they tell you literally everything you need to know. It's literally information overload, but it'll help you figure everything out. And then about a week before the shows start, they'll start doing overnight practices, which are not required, but they're actually really cool because they're from 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. So be sure you don't have a morning shift. And you go into Epcot in the America Pavilion where they have the stage and everything, and you get to practice at night. I admit I'm really glad that I went to an overnight. I highly, highly recommend it because it helps you see how things work and prepare for it so that you're not as nervous. And I'm not gonna lie, normally I don't get really nervous, but I got nervous my first time because it was just so cool. I just thought it was so cool and I got so excited, and I'm getting goosebumps talking about it. So go to that overnight. I highly recommend that because it'll just help you get prepared for it. So the way overnights work is you go and you check in again and you go into your vocal parts, and then they'll kind of rearrange you how they want to. They have this really complicated way that you go onto the tree, which just confuses me, but they'll explain all of that and you'll get to practice with the candles and everything, and then they'll literally take you from the practice place where you check in. It's behind Italy, just to let you know, backstage Italy. And then they'll take you up to the tree, practice for a bit, have the narrator go through it, and then, you know, come back out. And that just made me feel a lot better the first day that I did it for the very first time. So after you're done with that, it's your first show. How exciting! So signing up for shows. This may seem a little complicated, but really it's not too bad. So what they allow you to do is about a week before the shows start, I believe, you will be able to prep one show that you really, 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 really want. Now I'm gonna tell you, Neil Patrick Harris and Whoopi Goldberg are the first ones to go. So if you really want to sing with them, sign up as soon as you can. Each vocal part gets a time slot, and then at that time slot, that's whenever you get to go and sign up. I personally had a shift and I was on set whenever the time slot opened up for Soprano 1, so you know, that's okay. I ended up choosing a day and a narrator when my family was here because I really wanted to make sure that I was going to be able to sing whenever they came. So that was a really cool experience. They got to come and watch me. So if your parents or friends or family are coming to a specific show, that may be the one that you want to prep. So after you prep it, eventually they're going to release days where you can choose, I believe, 5. For women it was 5, and for men it was 8 that you could just sign up for, and you're able to change them anytime. But if you change it after 3 p.m. it counts as like a no-show and it counts against you. So once you get 3 no-shows, then you're like out of the choir. Don't cancel after 3 o'clock. After you get those, you can also go and just sign up for the wait list. The wait list comes out at 3 p.m. every day, and you go and you just write your name, and if they have open spots and there's the same number of people or less number of people on the wait list, you immediately get to go. But if there are more people on the wait list, then they do a sort of a draw where they literally like roll dice to see who gets to go. So it's random. It's not based on who got there first. I was really lucky to be able to get drawn for Neil Patrick Harris. I literally ran there right after work, sped over there, like I was literally sprinting, and wrote my name down on the list, and I was lucky enough to get to sing with him. He was a really good, funny narrator, and I was literally like right behind him too, and I was like, of course with Neil Patrick Harris, I'm right behind him. I had this like messy bun, messy hair, no makeup on, and I was in like the pictures that people were taking with Neil Patrick Harris. I was like, okay. But it was still a really cool experience. Technically there will be 3 shows every night, but there will be 2 that you can sign up with. The 3 shows a night. 1 is an early one, and then there are 2 later ones, but those come as a pair. You can't sing in one and then not sing in the other. You're supposed to do both of those. But I will admit that those are more popular because they're later in the day after a lot of people's shifts, and honestly it's just nice. You're already taking the time out of your day to come and park and walk through Epcot and, you know, sing. So it's nice to just get like 2 of them done at a time, if that makes sense. So for every show that you do, you get a ticket, and you can get up to 25 park tickets for the next year. So I was able to get 7, and you also get them if you do an overnight as well. So you can get up to 25 tickets for the next year, which is amazing. That's amazing. So I actually already used 3 of them whenever I went to Disney World in these vlogs that you guys are seeing being put up right now. So there is a dress code for the Candlelight Processional, and they will go over this in those informationals that I was telling you about, but you are required to wear a white plain t-shirt and some black pants. And the reason it's a white t-shirt is because it gets hot up there. Those robes are so unbreathable, it's insane. And normally I'm a very cold natured person, but I got so hot up there sometimes, especially if you're in like the center of the tree right behind the guest speaker, because the lights are shining on that constantly. You also have to wear black shoes that are closed-toed. So I just wore my work shoes. They were just plain black tennis shoes. They were ugly, not gonna lie, but no one's looking at your feet. Funny story. I don't even know if it's a funny story, but my favorite director ever, I freaking loved him. I sang with 3 different directors. I believe that there are 3 different directors who can direct the choir. So try and get used to different directors' styles, if that makes sense, and really get to know those cutoffs on your own without having to be told, because different directors have different ways of cutting you off and doing different things. Like one of them was very like precise, and one was like very flourishing, and you honestly didn't know when they cut off a note for you. But my favorite director was this very, very energetic black man who was probably in his mid-30s, and he was just the nicest man. He would like shake our hands as we walked off the stage and everything, and he just got so into the music. He was so passionate, and he was like a big, very energetic with his movements, but you could, like, the joy was just radiating off of him whenever he was directing us in those songs, and he would just have this big smile, and he'd be like, come on, louder. And I just loved him. So I got to sing with him I think 3 times, and those were my favorite. He was so much fun. Towards the end of the Candlelight Choir shows, they will tell you about getting a pin and a certificate. So at the practices, actually, you can sign up for the certificate, and then towards the end of the shows, they'll actually physically have the pins that you can pick up after a show or before a show. And I love the pin. It's so pretty, and I'm a pin collector too, if you guys didn't know, of specific pins, but that one is really cool. One day I want to make like a shadow box with it in it. I wish that I could sing in more Candlelight Processionals because it has the year on it. It's really cool because some of the veterans of the Candlelight Processional have like vests or hats, and they have the pins on it. There was something I was gonna say and I forgot. I talk way too much. As you guys can probably tell based on how animated I am talking about this topic, I loved my time singing in the Candlelight Processional. I only wish that I could have sang in more shows. It was so neat. I got to sing with Neil Patrick Harris, Ming-Na Wen, which is the voice of Mulan, and someone Osborne, I forget his name. He was the one that my parents came and watched, and I don't know how to explain it. Just being up there and being in front of these people who are just enjoying their time. Some of them will sing with you, and some of the directors just get so into it, and some of the guest speakers will turn around and try and get you involved, and sometimes whenever they aren't speaking, they'll turn around and watch you, and you know, just and I'm getting goosebumps talking about it again. It was probably one of my favorite things that I did while I was on my Disney College program, and I am so glad that I tried out for it, that I auditioned for it. And if you have any doubt about doing it at all, audition. Just audition. It took an hour out of one of my days to go and audition, and at least you know that you tried. Gosh, I sang in choir for 9 years during my school career before college, and I was actually in the Texas All-State Choir my senior year of high school, and I haven't sang in a group since then, and so it was so cool. I will admit there are differing levels of singers there, from very inexperienced to experienced, but the audition kind of cuts out the really inexperienced people. If you have any experience singing, you'll probably be good. One thing I do want to suggest for those of you ladies who may be a little self-conscious, which I don't blame you, take the makeup and like a hairbrush with you, maybe some dry shampoo with you if you are going to stand by, just going to sign up on the wait list. Also, for all of you who are thinking about doing the Candlelight Choir and make it, keep your white shirt, your black pants, and your shoes in your car just in case you decide randomly after a shift, or hey, I'm in Epcot for today, like why don't I go and sign the list, and then you happen to make it into the show that night. Take it with you so that you have that on hand, either in your car or like carry a backpack with you in the parks or something like that, or in your locker at work, because it is so worth it. And I happen to be behind the narrators for 4 of the 6 shows I sang in. I was directly behind the narrator, and therefore the spotlight like never left my face, and so I always had to like try and have a pleasant smile on my face like while they were talking, because you see those pictures of people and they're just like, don't do that. Have a pleasant smile, lift your eyebrows, and if you're self-conscious about that, just bring a little makeup, like little foundation, little mascara, and you're good. But just be aware that that will potentially happen to you. For those who get picked to be on the top of the tree, I never got picked. I don't know how they choose it. I know you have to be short enough so that you don't hit the star, but otherwise it's random. So you guys, I know I talked a lot. There's a lot of information being thrown at you, so I hope that it helps in some way, shape, or form. I'm sorry there's so much information, but I want you to have all of it just in case. And for those of you auditioning, good luck. It is going to be an amazing experience. I just wish you the best of luck. Comment down below if you do audition and you do make it. I would love to hear about it and see about your experiences. And I just love you guys. Thank you so much for watching my videos. We just hit 4,000 subscribers, which is amazing. So thank you so much for joining the Ever After fam. And I hope you guys have an amazing day and get excited for more Ever After experience videos and Disney vlogs, because I have a lot of videos coming at you guys. All right, bye everyone. Mwah!